Hello, spiritual storytellers. Are you up for some brainstorming today to help you on your writing journey? My name is Maria, and I'm a storytelling coach and an author. And I'd love to help you either heal your past or create a brighter future using the magic of storytelling. Today, we're going to do some brainstorming. So I have a series of cards that I can look into, come up with some writing prompts for you, and hopefully this will help you be creative today and start telling your own story. Because my understanding is that 2024 is the year of telling your story. So let's get started. This is for my spiritual storytellers. What's the story today? What's going on? What will you, as a storyteller, most like to hear today? And I'm connecting with the authors and the artists and the mystics of the ages to pass on some wisdom for you to see what's going on. What do you most need to know as a spiritual storyteller? So, this is the card. Practice your fundamentals. Yeah. So, what this card is about is whenever you're an artist or a musician, for example, or an athlete, there are certain basic skills that you need to keep up. And it doesn't matter how advanced you are, it doesn't matter how successful you are. You always have to go back to the basics and keep on mastering those basics because those are the building blocks. So, for example, athletes like basketball players or football players or musicians like pianists, they go back and they do their scales. They go back and do their shots over and over and over again. And you may think, well, you're like been doing this for 20 years. Why are you still doing those fundamentals? And it's like it keeps their skills sharp. So for us writers, we have some fundamentals too. So it's got to do with reading, keeping up to date with what's going on, with reading other authors, or it's about brushing up on your vocabulary, for example, learning new words and seeing if you can incorporate them into your stories. Okay, so let's get started on the next prompts. Okay, so let's see. Well, maybe we can look at the archetype cards again. So these archetype cards are based on Jungian psychology. And when you use archetypes as your basis of, oh, there's one, as a basis of your characters, then they become that much more complex and interesting. They're not flat. So when you use the information and the knowledge base of the archetype, then you can really tell some really great stories. And we all have archetypes within us. We all carry a certain amount of knowledge and talent that can fall into the scope of a certain archetype. And so writers and artists and storytellers, these are all archetypes. So let's see if we have any other archetypes that we'd like to use in our story today. Okay, so these three. Okay, so I've got 5. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got, okay. So the first one that came out is the coward. Now, that's really interesting. So, coward to me is like someone who's afraid to get started, someone who's afraid to do what they want to do. And it's just holding themselves back because they're afraid. And then people may shun them or laugh at them because they say they want to do something and then they don't do it. Like say they want to invite someone on a date, but they don't because they're afraid and then they lose out on that potential relationship. So this reflects a little bit on us, I think, as writers. It's hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to share what's going on, what you feel and what you think and your opinions and your point of view, because you risk being judged and you risk being rejected. And it's really difficult to like, yeah, that's the last thing you want, is to be judged, rejected. So yeah, so a lot of people just dial it back and stay quiet, and that's the last thing you want to do. Take the opposite of the coward. Take a step forward. Do something. Take bold action. It doesn't have to be finished, but just take a step. Take a step forward towards what you want. Don't avoid it. Just keep going. Just take another step. So that's what the coward is telling us, is like, don't fall into that trap of being a coward. Just go and do something. Be creative. Do something awesome. Fun. Yeah. Okay. So that's the coward. The next one is the companion. Now, the companion is actually really great for the coward. Yeah. So the companion is like there alongside, helping, being their support, being moral support for someone. And they're along for the ride. They're like the sidekick, and so everybody needs like a companion sometimes, someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off of. Yeah, and that's what I can do too as a coach. I can be a companion on your journey for sure. I'm not going to do the driving. You do the driving in your car, but I can sit in the passenger seat and talk. So find a companion if you don't have one at the moment. There are lots of places where you can look and to meet up with like-minded people. Yeah, yeah. So especially if you're like quiet and shy and don't want to do anything, maybe a companion can help nudge you a little bit further along in your journey. And the next one is the pioneer. And pioneers are like, they go out into the unknown and they create homes where there weren't homes before. Like they trek over country in all kinds of weather and brave the unknown to settle in a new place, because where they left wasn't enough, and so they had to find a new home. Pioneers are really innovative. They have resourcefulness. They can put things together like MacGyver. And they're off into looking to a brighter future. Like I always think of like people traveling west to seek their fortune in gold, in the covered wagons. Little House on the Prairie comes to mind as well. So these people, like, they were really brave. So you go from the coward who's sitting at home and doing nothing, and to the pioneer who's like going off into the unknown and trying their fortune in a new territory. And then a related one is the pilgrim. And I can relate to the pilgrim too. I have gone on a Camino in Spain, which is a spiritual pilgrimage. So I've been a real pilgrim with a backpack and everything. Pilgrims are on a spiritual journey, looking for some meaning in life, some purpose, some answers, some time to reflect, some time to connect with nature and with God and with new people, being on a pilgrim's journey. Oh, one of my favorite books that I studied in university was Pilgrim's Progress. It was all about the ups and downs of a pilgrim's journey. And you might know also Canterbury Tales, which is all about pilgrims as well. Very entertaining stories about pilgrims. So if there's a pilgrim in your archetypal family, then they go really well with pioneers, I think. They're both very similar. I think the pioneer is more about physical journey, homesteading, whereas the pilgrim is more on a spiritual journey. But either way, it's forging into the unknown. So these are great characters to have in a story. And the last one that I drew today was the magician. The magician has superpowers, extra powers to create what they want with intention. And they can be also entertaining. So when things aren't going well, the magician can come along and make them better. The magician can turn wood and spark from flint into fire. It's that kind of like transformative effect of the magician who can create something out of nothing. And so maybe that kind of goes along with the pioneer and the pilgrim. It's like you're going into nothing, but something happens, you know? We've really progressed here from coward with a companion to pioneer to pilgrim and magician. I hope that that helps you with your storytelling. So reach into those archetypes. Maybe they're in your story, or maybe they're about you. Maybe they're like what you need to draw upon yourself and look into yourself so that you can tell your story. There's all kinds of ways that you can research these characters, but put them into your stories. Everyone loves a magician. You can turn a trick into a treat. Yeah. Let's just see what the blocks might be that would keep you as a coward and not make the journey to the magician who creates whatever they want out of nothing. And so I have these writer's blocks cards that I came up with. I came up with 22 writer's blocks that might be in the way. What I do is, as a storytelling coach, I help people come up with a crystal clear vision of what they want to create. I help them come up with ideas, and I also help them break through any blocks that might be in the way. So if you're interested in my coaching, feel free to ask me about my Your Story is Your Wealth coaching program. Those details are in the description box below, and I'd be happy to help you work through any blocks that you might have. Blast through them so that you can write your story and be the magician of your own life. So the block that comes up today are, oh, well, writers are alcoholics. You might think that being a writer means that you're a miserable barfly, chain smoking, who Jack Kerouac type of person. But the truth is, not all successful writers, including me, are tortured artists or mad geniuses or wounded barflies. So for me, how this relates is that I think that the coward would rather choose, sitting in a bar, drinking and drowning their sorrows in their beer, rather than actually doing what they want to do. And they just talk about what they want to do, but they never do it. And because they don't have the confidence or they don't have the courage to do what they want. And this is something that definitely you need to break through. Like if it's in you, if you have the idea, then it's yours to pursue. If you have the idea to go cross country in a covered wagon, then it's yours to pursue, right? So don't push down your feelings, don't push down your ideas and think that it's for someone else. This is yours. If you had the idea, then you need to go for it. And this is also about the throat chakra, which is all about creativity and self-expression and speaking your truth. So when you drink, you push everything down and you silence yourself. But it's time to like break free of that. And whether it's a metaphor or not, you gotta like use your voice like the magician and speak it out. It's not a coincidence that spelling is a word for that is used in elementary school when you talk about spelling your words. they actually have magical powers. Speaking your truth has magic, has power. Words spoken and written are, a direct line to the universe. So don't sit and be quiet and just pretend like you don't have any ideas and sit in the bar all day drinking. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's not exciting. Use your voice, use what your intelligence, use what you've got inside, and speak it out and share it. And who knows what doors it will open? Who knows what lands you'll enter and experience, and who knows what people you'll meet. It's about going back to the basics. If you're sitting there like thinking about telling a story or writing a book or doing a piece of art or taking photographs or making a video series or starting a business, go back to the basics, practice those every day, and get really, really strong at the basic things that you need to know, and then build on those. Take it one step at a time. So practice your fundamentals no matter where you are on your journey. It's about doing the basics and getting really, really good at them so they're automatic. And then just go for it. Go on your journey. So yeah, so my name is Maria, and I hope you enjoyed these writing prompts for today. I hope they helped, and I'll be back, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.